Hey everybody, it's Angel624 here, and this is my second video in a pretty short time. I think my KOTOR 2, my Sith Lord Restoration Project video was only a few days ago, and yeah, so this video, Real Proof has brought something to my attention that has actually made me think: is KOTOR 2 an acceptable game? As I've said in past reviews and such, is KOTOR 2 an acceptable game? I mean, let's break it down. The game was rushed, a lot of cut content, many simple glitches that can be avoided with better programming, and just in general, just could have been a better game in terms of length. It's too short, you know? Way too short. And I just, I don't know, just couldn't, it felt like it could have been longer, you know? But, to be fair, KOTOR 2 is a darker game. Characters are a bit more in depth. The dialogue is, oh my lord, it's Hollywood dialogue. Brilliant, brilliant dialogue. Um, the models are cooler. The animations in general aren't as stiff. I mean, Obsidian did take the same game engine, but there are a few cutscenes where there's more motions happening and more things are going on. I mean, you know, well, it's just in terms of what it is, I think that it's perfectly. I think it's acceptable. I think that it's perfectly fine. But there are people that would argue because KOTOR 1 as a whole is just complete. It wasn't rushed. And the glitches are so minor that all they are, all they are really are just environment glitches, which happen so little. You'd have to be passing through so much crap for an environmental glitch to even happen. And the glitches in gameplay really don't ever occur. I've never really experimented with glitching with that game, and I don't think you even can. If you could prove that to me, please personal message me. I'd like to know because hell, I want to glitch, man. It's fun. But yeah, I've just never truthfully seen anything wrong with KOTOR 1. But getting back to KOTOR 2, as an acceptable game, I mean, I can't. Since there's no 3 coming out, I guess I have to call it an acceptable game. Because there's just something, there's an aura to 2. It's kind of like a game that if you don't play, you feel like you've missed out on something. Because it does, in terms of story, is brilliantly written. Dark and just deep. And just such a, not a Revan twist, mind you, but just a twist being like, this guy, this exile, is the death of the Force. He bonds with things to feed on it and create wounds. It's so deep. It's deeper than Revan. Revan was just a twist. Oh, you're Revan. You've been playing as Revan the whole time. This is deeper. It's got a meaning to it. Um, I really, I cannot not call it an acceptable game. It has enough content for where it truthfully is acceptable. And I just, it makes sense. And, and I just, the game just, it's so put together well. It's so, continuity wise, for the first game, it does explain the situation of Revan very well. A lot of people would disagree with me with that because some of the dialogue about Revan is very choppy. With Kreia, though, it's not. And Kreia, obviously it shouldn't be choppy because she is the best character in that game. The whole KOTOR universe, fan base agrees that Kreia is the best character. You can, if you want to disagree with me on that, That's perfectly fine, but I'm going to say majority of KOTOR 2 fans, and KOTOR fans in general, think that in KOTOR 2, Kreia is the best character. She's the most deep. She matters the most. When you're disobeying her, you feel like you're really just disobeying. If you're playing through Dark Side playthrough anyway, you feel like you want to be evil with her. You want her to be on your side and give you compliments for doing her bidding. Or at least I do, because it's great, it's awesome. And when you're the light side, you just want to call her a miserable old witch. You know, it's wonderful. And Kreia's conversations about Revan really do bring out great things in the game. Um, Revan. If I can say one thing about Revan in general in that game, he's meant to loom. He's not meant to be like, oh, here's Revan. He's back. No, he's meant to loom. He's a looming figure. He just left known space, abandoned all his companions from the first game, and left known space to go find out answers. To me, it's brilliant. He's a looming figure. Malik is dead, so he's mentioned just as a historical figure. But Revan looms. You're almost wondering, am I going to run into him at the end of the game? You run into him, spoiler alert, by the way, but all my videos are spoiler alerts. You run into him on Korriban, but he's a vision. And that really kind of like, whoa, I just fought the Dark Lord from the last game. If that was where your canon ending went, but that's for you to decide, depending on how many times you played through the game, if you played through that ending. But you just fought the Dark Lord of the Sith and beat him, or lost to him. And he's meant to loom. He's not meant to be in the forefront. He really, if they were to put him in the game as what would have been interesting if he was a companion, but that would have meant continuity. What I've always wanted KOTOR to do is be able to do what Mass Effect did and upload your character. So if you want Revan as a companion, you just upload from the first game, and you don't have to worry about face mapping. He's your Revan. He or she, whatever. I mean, Revan's mask and robe could be used to hide whatever he or she truly looks like, so you could have him. I think that would be interesting if he was one of the companions of the Exile. And everybody's looking for him. I don't know. It's an interesting story arc that I've been thinking of actually since my first playthroughs. I've always wanted Revan to be in that game. I always wanted him to be more of a pro. But the fact that he looms is great. It's awesome. So, closing note, I just figure seeing Yario Proof's comment, it kind of sparked something in me to do this video. Anyway, go check out my KOTOR 2 review, my KOTOR 2 videos, my Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars, whatever videos. My first video, which is... my channel is so shitty and little. I've only gotten... That's one of my highest rated and highest watched videos. So please, go watch it. I'll put all the links in the description box below. Thank you, and have a great night.